No playing around here, Mr. Adam Baldwin.
That one works. Hi. I got the equipment falling on my feet.
It's awesome. Okay, you all know Mr. Adam Baldwin. My name is Craig Christinger. I've written for Starlog and Fangoria for many years and the co-chair of Bubonic on the Literary Science Fiction Convention here. I am going to probably stay out of the way of your questions as much as possible. I just want to ask a couple just to get us started. And I guess most recently, of course, Adam was on Castle. And so, nice reunion for Browncoats of the Firefly, Nathan and Adam. And any chance that Slaughter might show back up?
They've given me a warning that I might be able to come back and play that character a couple more times. He's never going to be regular on that show, I don't think, because it would sort of change the whole dynamic of the show. But they liked what I did, and I liked what I did. And Nathan was happy to have me, so that's what counts to me. You know, who knows, maybe spin-off.
Yeah, I love the role reversal on that. That was great with you and Nathan having the role
I like
reversal.
kicking his ass whenever I can. Uncle Nathan, you know, he pushed me around for a while on Firefly and Serenity, so I get a little payback. It's fun. Poor Nathan.
And also most recently, of course, Chuck came to the end of its 5 seasons. John Casey. I wanted to ask, I know many of us love that show too, love John Casey, and I just want to ask how you felt about how the series ended in terms of your character and some of the other characters.
Well, John Casey, he got to run off with Verbansky, so that was pretty cool. Carrie Ann Moss and I, run off into the sunset. I like that. I can't really speak for the other characters too much, but I think it was time for the show to wind down. They had a good run. We were lucky to even get 1 season, let alone 5. So 91 episodes is a pretty good run. We were on the bubble for a while. But thank you guys for tuning in, those of you that did. It's always a blessing and amazing when you get a show actually produced and on the air and let it run for more than a season or so. My experience with Firefly and a couple other shows, I did Daybreak and another thing called The Inside with Tim Minear, and those only went half a season. Maybe only 3 or 4 or 6 episodes got on the air. So for a show like Chuck to get that many episodes aired was a blessing, like I say. And you get to work with a whole bunch of really cool people like Zach Levi and Yvonne Strahovski, or as we like to call her, Yvonne Strahotsky, and Josh Gomez and the whole family there. It was really a wonderful experience for me. And then I got to play with guns. So that I really worked with the prop guy as much as I could to make sure that the weapons were all correct. And many times they weren't. And so what's wrong with this damn thing? He says, they're plastic, dude. What am I going to do? Anyway, had a good time.
We'll open up for questions here in a second. Of course, the question that all the Firefly fans want to know, it's been 7 years since Serenity. Has there been any rumors beyond the graphic novels?
Joss's boss. It's his baby, and if he wants to do it, he'll do it. If he doesn't, if he's moved on and just has it where it is in the history of sci-fi, that's great. It's his call. I'm sure that any of us or all of us, if called back, would do it in a heartbeat, just because it was so much fun. But I think we can all appreciate what he's done with Avengers, and now he's got the power to do what he wants to do, pretty much. So we'll see. Oh, you blinked. You missed me in it, didn't you? That little cameo there.
Ah, that was it. Oh, you were with Stan Lee.
Man in car, smushing.
I could kind of see you running around as a government agent in that easily.
Yeah.
Okay, so
bossing Thor and Hulk.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I think there were going to be microphones that were going to be run around. Are there microphones being run around, or are we just asking people to be really loud? Oh, there's one.
I see a microphone.
Yes.
I see a hand. Work it, work it, work it.
That's the power of Subway.
Hey, I'm Baldwin. I loved you in Full Metal Jacket and DC Taxi. And I was wondering, how awesome was it working with Mr. T?
I pity that question. That was good. I worked with, that was the second season of the A-Team. Mr. T was the biggest star in the world that year, and I was just this 21-year-old punk kid thrown into the mix with Mr. T and Gary Busey and the Barbarian Twins and this crazy guy named Charlie Barnett, God rest his soul, and Bill Maher and Marsha Warfield and Max Gale, and Joel Schumacher was directing, and it was quite a hilarious experience for me. Here I am in Washington, D.C., checking out the Lincoln Memorial for the first time, and I got Gary Busey yelling at me, you know, get down off of there, stupid Albert, what are you doing? Okay, sorry. Whatever. That was fun, and Mr. T was, he was always complaining about the grits in the morning. How you expect a man to work without no grits? Where are my grits at? I'm hungry. Look at these muscles, you gotta eat. Keep these muscles going. But he was a wonderful, nice man, you know, wonderful man of God, and just a great guy. So that was fun, and I got to work on Full Metal Jacket with Stanley Kubrick. I think I'm the only guy who's worked with Stanley Kubrick in Jaws, so I got that going for me. And that was a long experience, 9 months of work in England. I got to work with Matthew Modine and you know, Vince D'Onofrio and Arlie Ermy and a bunch of crazy territorial army guys. Semper Fi, do or die, gung ho, gung ho, gung ho. That's one of those movies where you're watching it, like Casablanca is another one for me, one of my favorites, or The Godfather. You're flipping around on channels and you, oh, Full Metal Jacket's on. Just because, you know, not even the scenes that I'm in, I don't really care about watching me, but that's one of those movies that you can stop and watch and go, oh, that's great. And really profane. Or Casablanca, Rick, save me, Rick! I'm shocked, there's gambling going on. Anyway.
How does camaraderie on Firefly compare to other casts that you've worked with before?
We just had a little get-together at Nathan's house on Sunday, so it's still ongoing. And Zach Levi, who's got Nerd HQ, he got that up and running, and he's going to be at Comic-Con. We got together and did a little short video film that he's going to premiere there. Well, I can't say who's a part of it. There was it's been online. Some folks have been out there, but so we do get together. A lot of camaraderie. Still good friends, dear friends, and I love it when, say, Jewel is at a same convention as I am, because she's a real foodie, so she likes to take charge and say, this is the restaurant we're going to, and this is the food you're eating. Okay, Mom, whatever. That's fine. I'm in good hands.
I can definitely see that from her food blog.
Yeah.
That she would just order you around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she loves it. Order me a round. Just the one, right?
Yes.
Just the one. Yeah. I ate at a lovely place last night, Marcello's Steakhouse. Very good. Recommend it. Not cheap. Very good. Anyone else? Okay, good. We're done. Thanks, everybody.
Wolverine there, it looks like.
It's Wolverine.
What was your experience like working on the X-Files, such as the Super Soldier?
Yeah. Noel Rohrer was a name that they made fun of on the set. The director and the rest of the cast, they were making fun of my name because it was difficult. It's like you got marbles in your mouth. Noel Rohrer. So I think Chris Carter was just sort of toying with me. Whatever. That was fun. First night of work on that was, I think, at the Disney Ranch or somewhere up in Thousand Oaks. It was cold and all-night shoot, and I got thrown into the mix, which is fine. But the director was Kim Manners, and he was, God rest his soul, he was a yeller, but a testing yeller. So I had fortunately met and dealt with folks like that before, so it wasn't as scary for me as some of the folks on the crew were saying, doesn't he get to you? It's like, no, he's just testing. It's fun. And so he's yelling at you with a wink in his eye. He's like, what the hell? You're not really going to say it that way, are you? That's crap. Watch this. You know? Oh, you're that guy. Okay, no problem. Gillian Anderson was very sweet to me, and David Duchovny. They were very, very nice and welcoming, and I got to wear a thing on my neck, that little lizard spine thing. I wore that home one night, and I said, God, she's hot. My wife, she says, so how was work today? I was like, okay, I'm just a little on my neck. Would you just, rub it a little bit? She's like, okay, fine. Distracted with the kids or the dogs, whatever. Okay, fine, whatever. What is that? Ah! Yes. Gotcha. Yeah, she loves me. Yes.
Hi, about your recent guest star on Castle. What is it like when you and Nathan obviously have a history, and you walk into an established cast with him? How does that feel? How's that like? And did you and Nathan get up to any mischief when you were on set together?
I don't think you had
Nathan's
that.
the mischief maker. I try to steer clear of that, except like I play with my wife like that. I can mess her up. That's always fun. Payback was not good, though. For me, walking onto the Castle set was like going home. There were a lot of crew members from Chuck who had transitioned over. The first AD was coincidentally the same first AD that was on X-Files. The other AD, because they have two, they rotate from one episode, and then one has the odd episodes, one has the even episodes. The odd episode that I was working on had Barry, who was the first AD on X-Files, and the even episodes had Rich, who was the first AD on Serenity and Firefly. So I was like, okay, I'm comfortable here, no problem. It can be daunting for guest stars to walk in to a show. I remember, was it not NCIS? Maybe it was NCIS. Maybe it was CSI. I don't know, I've done a couple of guest spots over the years, and one of them was, it's tough to know where you stand, and if there's tension going on in the crew that you're not a part of, you're just coming in for a guest spot, there's history there that they're yelling or screaming at each other, or there's tension, then you're not a part of it, but you still have to deal with it because it's surrounding you. And so I've learned basically just to mock it. Now, if people are being cranky, because life's way too short to be cranky, especially on a TV show or a movie set. It's like, come on, we're making a movie here. Listen, if you can't have fun doing that, you can't have fun. So I'll just they're being cranky. I say, well, what are you so afraid of, man? Come on. They'll be like, what are you you're just a guest star. We don't care about you. Oh, really? Okay. That's fine. Look at me, I'm a cameraman. Bitch, bitch, bitch. Which is a line I stole from Nathan, but, it works. It really works. Thank you. I got 1 million of them. Or maybe 16. Yes, sir. No. Whoever was closest. Whoever.
Favorite on-screen weapon?
Favorite on-screen weapon? Wow. Well, Vera's the most iconic, I guess. I get tied to that. The hat's a good weapon. It really works with the ladies. Favorite on-screen weapon? That M134 minigun was pretty cool. 3,400 rounds per minute. That was fun. I got to ride in a helicopter. That's always fun. Get up there and just get hooked in and ride around in a helicopter and then come down and brrr. That's fun. I don't remember having any lasers on screen. I did like the knife I had in Firefly. called it Binky. my little security Binky. I don't know, did you have security blankets when you were growing up? I had a blue one. I couldn't say the letter L, so it was called Boo. My little Boo. So that's what I called my little sidearm, my gun. It was Boo. Binky was the knife.
Let's go ahead and get Charlie.
Hi, would you ask everyone with a Jane hat or Jane costume to stand up, and would you take a picture with us afterwards?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
A group pic, just one group picture.
That'll be $4. There you go. There you go. It's a South Park reference, sorry. Yeah, we could probably figure something out, yeah. Or not. Yes, ma'am. Wait for the microphone. No, right down front.
Read in front.
There we go.
Here we go.
Your initial reaction to the Jamestown script, and if it was really hot that day when you had to bundle up and wear all that costume.
Oh, it was really hot. Yeah, we were out in Thousand Oaks, and it was 100 degrees and sweaty and fun. And I think, was it, Sean, he had like some fancy clothes that made him sweaty too, so we were sweaty together, Sean and I, in Jamestown. When I first saw the script, I was like, really, a statue? And a song. Yeah, Joss was like, Ben Edlund wrote the script, but I remember Joss came up to me and goes, yeah, I'm gonna make you an icon. Really? So at the end, I don't know, the head of the, I get the speech and the sun's going down. Finally the sun goes down, we lose the light, so we can't shoot that anymore. So the statue is just sitting there, and for some reason the extras were like, knock the statue over, come on. Okay, fine, boom, take the head. Oh, okay, cool. I took the head, took it home. The production coordinator, he calls me the next day and says, we need that freaking head back. Oh, oops, sorry. So if you see that episode again, you'll notice when there's that close-up of the thing, there's a crack in the neck. There's a little crack there. That's my fault. But I did end up keeping the head and auctioning off for Joss's charity, which is probably the only way I could have gotten away with keeping the damn thing. I didn't even get to keep it, but I had to auction it off for his charity, iQuality now, so that raised some money. And there's a guy out on Twitter, Jane_statue, who has the thing.
That's a good point just to remind people that the Can't Stop the Serenity screenings are July 14th and 15th at the Guild Cinema Theater here in town. Okay, another question. This is fun with the light in your eyes, I have to say. So people in the back have to.
Over here.
Yeah, oh good, let's get those seats.
Over here, damn it,
So,
point the camera here.
So I was going to ask, Firefly was built as a complete set. What was it like working on that, where you could walk between one room and another room and not have to worry about, going from one set to another set?
I'm sorry, start that question.
Firefly, according to director commentary, was built as one complete set, and normally, they build them as different sets. So what was it like working on one complete set, where you could just walk from one room to another room, and how did that affect your acting, if anything?
Oh, it was great. We're on this gigantic stage at 20th Century Fox, and when they did the movie, they basically did the same thing at Universal. They got their biggest stage and built this whole contiguous set piece. It was wonderful to be able to wander through the corridors and down into the infirmary and down into the lounge. I love that lounge. I love kicking back on those couches. That was hilarious. They had all these crappy magazines there. So, yeah. But I remember the first day of walking onto that set with Joss, and he said, get to know it. You're going to be here a while. Which is why it was so wonderful when Serenity got resurrected, is that we got to go walk around the new set and to see that twinkle in Joss's eye, that he get to relive that experience with all of us was, you know, one of the most heartwarming things for me. It was heartbreaking for all of us when Firefly was canceled, most of all Joss, because it was his baby. And I was happiest for him when the movie got, you know, put back in the air. And you guys, of course.
But I thought it was great that Josh obviously likes working with some of the same people, so he brought Nathan to Buffy, and he brought Gina and you over to Angel, so that must have been nice to have that touch again.
Yeah, I got to do Angel it was like the spring of '04. Firefly was canceled in '02, right around Christmas time. Merry Christmas, guys, you're canceled. So '02 was one of those kind of off years, and so by '03, I was like, Joss, got any work? He's like, as a matter of fact, I do. And he gave me a little 4 or 5 episode arc on Angel to close that out, and I got to be in that epic fight with David Boreanaz, who's a great guy, wonderful guy. A tester, though. He's one of those, oh yeah? I was like, yeah.
And you all got to play villains, too.
Yeah. A villain in a nice suit. They didn't let me keep the suit, though. They built that for me, but they didn't let me keep it, so I'm sure it's hanging on some rack somewhere. Just like my helmet cover from Full Metal Jacket. It's the one thing I regret not taking. But they were pretty adamant about locking that stuff down, in case they had to do reshoots. I learned recently that all of Stanley's extraneous footage, which he had miles and miles of, and you know, days and days worth of video footage, were all destroyed. They were all incinerated. Extra stuff, because that was part of his deal and his will, because he knew, or he feared, that clips and footage that he never intended for public consumption would end up on YouTube. So his assistant just threw it in the incinerator. Who I recently met, actually. He's helping Matthew Modine with his project.
Incinerate his stuff.
No, Matthew Modine, he wrote a really cool book called Full Metal Jacket Diary, and about because he was keeping notes and taking pictures while we were shooting the movie, and he's put together this really cool book, Full Metal Jacket Diary. If you get a chance, pick it up and read it. I think he's doing an online version, and that's what Leon Vitali, who was Stanley's assistant to that whole time, that's what he's helping him put together, do some interviews with some of the actors, and get that up on a website, which will be cool. What's Kevin Major Howard doing these days? He played Rafterman in the movie, and it'll tell you what he's doing. So, the thing that bothered me the most, and I asked Leon, is because in the end of Full Metal Jacket, Animal Mother was carrying a machete the whole time for one reason, to cut off the head of the sniper as she lay there. And they built Madame Tussauds built 2 heads that were beautiful, beautiful heads. But that footage was destroyed, and I wouldn't have put it up on my YouTube or anything like that, but I just wanted to see it, but it's gone. So, oh well. God rest your soul. Who's next?
Let's get some people in the back.
Yeah.
So what'd you have more fun with? Do you have more fun with TV, movies, or your voice acting?
3 different animals. The voiceover acting is one you don't have to shave, you can wear pajamas, you go hang out with very, very talented people who really only, well not only, but their voice work is so wonderful and talented, don't have to worry about what they look like. So you're working with the most talented people in the voice world. Television pays way more than everything these days, unless you're like the top star in a top movie. Television is the way to go. It's a living. It's a living. Until you're canceled. And you drop back into the 99%. And movies are, well, television is writer and creator driven. And they're the ones that have control. Joss, for instance, he writes it. Movies, the writer, unless he's directing it, generally doesn't have as much power. They write the script, they get their fee, and they see you later. With Joss on the Avengers, obviously that's different. He wrote it and he directed it. So it's a director's medium, and it's this short burst of creativity, and then see you later, bye. Whereas a television show is more of a marathon. Yeah, so movies are a sprint and TV's a marathon and pays better. Because it's consistent. But then the wife gets everything. Which is good. I get to keep about 5 cents on every dollar. It buys my cigars. Yes, so who's next?
Let's get
Other than Jane, obviously, who's your favorite character on Firefly?
Anera. No, I love them all. They're all so different and so unique. I think we all agree that Nathan was probably the most fun to be around consistently, and he is all of our heroes because the show was on his shoulders, and he was there in every scene. He was there pretty much every day, and he took the end of that responsibility and took it. Led us down that, but he's so, River was crazy though. I liked them all. They were just so fun. The book was so wise. What's his story anyway? Has it been written yet? Have they come out? What did he end up being?
I don't remember. There's a whole graphic novel, but I don't remember that Josh's brother did.
He what? Uh-huh. Okay. So was he an operative? Who's a spy?
Buy the graphic novel.
Okay. Oops, spoiler. Well, if you haven't read it by now.
That's right. Let's go ahead and get this front row person who's been waving. Yes, you with the black hat.
Hi, huge fan of you from the X-Files. What made you want to get into acting, to make it a living out of it?
What made me want to get into? I was in drama class. I was sort of an outcast, goofball. What happened was I was a hockey player, and I was a pretty good hockey player when I was a kid. And all my friends, because I was big and I was fast and I was strong and all that stuff, but over the course of a couple of summers, they would go up to Canada to hockey camp, and they got better than I did, and I couldn't compete, so I had to find something else to do. You need a support group, so I just chose into the drama department and stuck with that. And I'm from a broken home, and so it helps to have a support group, and they're very welcoming in the drama department. It's a very wide range. I mean, you got round, square, tall, short, skinny, fat, black, white, gay, straight. It's just very cool how you can just hang with people and just try to make each other laugh and the show's the thing, the play is the thing. And it wasn't about, for some people it was about the ego and getting the lead, but, that's how I started that way. And then I just fell into my bodyguard and been struggling like a fungus, stuck there ever since. Just sort of found my way there. There's no real right way of going about it. Just there's some hands over here.
Yes, there's lots of hands.
Bring them microphones, please.
Hi. On Chuck, you got to work with a lot of different guest stars and stuff. Who was your favorite guest star to work with, and which was your favorite episode?
I really enjoyed working with Carrie Ann Moss. We really had fun. She was such a professional and just cool and sexy. And again, she came in as a guest star, owning the character, owning who she was, no nonsense, totally professional, totally prepared. And you really appreciate that because you realize that, there's no time wasted. Just, we jump right into the scene and have fun. She was great. I loved Steve Austin. He's a big, strong wrestling dude, and I got to beat him in a fight and all that stuff. Batista, who's another wrestler, I got to choke him out. He let me. He really did. He's a big boy. Who else was fun? There's so many. Eric Roberts came. He played my old nemesis, and he's hilarious. So many.
Yeah, all the '80s stars. Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase. Oh my God. Yeah, he can be a bit of a scatterbrain, but boy, is he hilarious. He's fallen down a few times. Yeah. On purpose, as part of the act. Yeah.
Did you get to work with Stan Lee at all when he did his very short cameo this last season?
Christopher Lloyd also came. He was totally cool. He was hilarious. Loved him. I met Stan. I don't think I had a scene with him. Gosh, should have a list. The sort of thing I should bring a list for. Want to hear some Albuquerque jokes? Who's next? Ask a question while I pull these up.
Working with Joss, were you ever scared he was just going to kill you for no reason? Because he has a tendency of killing everybody.
Well, he made it very clear in the first dinner we had together that none of us were safe. He said, I've come off of 2 shows, both of them named after the lead character. You'll notice the name of the show is None of Yours. You are all at risk. Gotcha. I thought that they were going to kill Jane. I really did. So I thought, well, because he's such a jerk. So I was like, how do I make him lovable? How do I make him funny? I got to make him lovable and funny fast. I'm reading Ariel. I'm going, uh-huh. He's going to frickin' space me. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. I go up to Joss. You didn't kill me. He goes, you made yourself too damn lovable.
That didn't work for Washington the dinosaurs, though.
Yeah. What? Oh. Well, you know, the story about that. There's a story behind that.
Give us the dirt.
What's the difference between a person from Albuquerque and a baby? The baby will stop whining after a while. Just kidding. One of my buddies on Twitter, he said, oh, you're in Albuquerque now. Hit him with these. Oh, yeah, that'll win some friends. Oh, dear. No.
Come on.
How do people in Albuquerque vote? Early and often. Anyway.
Sadly true.
The rest of them are just profane, and I can't read them now. If you catch me later in the bar, I'll read them to you.
Let's get the.
I don't believe a word of it. I just, I try to honor my buddy, because he'll see this video and go, this one's for you, Scott.
Yes, we'll get the Jane hat.
Hey, you have a really extensive filmography, Serenity, Chuck, everything. But one of them that really stands out to me, especially your early years, was Radio Flyer. How did you get a role like that? And have you ever considered doing another role like that, just completely different?
The King. I played the King in Radio Flyer. He's a bad guy. He's a bad stepdad who drank a lot of beer. The beer that I was drinking, because it was a period piece, was actually Diet Fresca. In that can. I remember because it had the only cans they could find with the pull tabs. And Fresca is only diet. Yeah. Okay, so it was Fresca.
It was special Fresca.
Yeah. I don't like Fresca. It's too much saccharin. Yeah, he was a bad guy. He was this belligerent stepdad, but it was a lovely movie. It's just kind of dark. It's a dark family drama. I think that the ad campaign sort of sold it as this fantasy. It's like E.T., you know, the kid's flying in his radio flyer, and there's like happy music, and like, no, this is dark. Guy kid kills himself. It's bad, but that was that character. You don't see his face too much, and that was on purpose because he was sort of to be seen from the perspective of the child, which was this sort of half looking, glancing, don't want to look at him type guy. But I got to meet Tom Hanks and a bunch of really great people who made that film. So I was lucky to be a part of it. Richard Donner directed it. And it was just, yeah, I don't know. I prefer action comedy.
So X-Files was like a hugely popular show for years, and you came on towards the end of the run.
Yeah.
Was that like intimidating to become part of that cast in that world? And also, what was it like to work with Chris Carter? Was he cool, or what was that like?
Oh, Chris Carter is totally cool. I auditioned actually for the Robert Patrick role, and I guess I did okay because they hired me for the Noel Rohrer role later. Perhaps I was too tall for that role. I mean, Robert Patrick. I mean, I'm 6'4", and Gillian Anderson's, I don't know, 4'3" or something like that. Kidding. But there's a significant height differentials there. So they were lovely and just very welcoming, and it was fun. And that, having worked on X-Files, I guess, helped put me on the radar for Fox Network and helped me get the job of Firefly. So it's like when you're working, just continue to work and don't turn down things that are cool like that just because it's this guest star thing and it's only short-lived. It can lead to other work. So, you approach it as best you can while you're doing it, and it'll lead to other stuff. And this one.
Is there a role or a type that you always wanted to play but you never had? What would that be?
Yeah, my dream role is like Slaughter on Casey. I'm on Castle. Slaughter, Casey, Castle. Brain is scrambling. You try this. Guys like that. I grew up watching shoot 'em ups with my dad. I love westerns. I love to play, western. I love to get involved in something like that. Or Hatfields and McCoy. That looks really cool. I worked with Costner on Wyatt Earp back in '94, not far. Shot in Santa Fe. So, I love horses and guns and whiskey. I don't know. Yeah.
On Chuck, who was more fun to work with, Zachary Levi or Joshua Gomez?
Huh. Well, Zach, again, he had the show on his shoulders like Nathan did on Firefly. We carried it for 5 years. He was he's one of my dear friends, and he is so entertaining. And if you get a chance to go down to Comic-Con and visit his Nerd HQ, he's got some surprises planned there. He's a song and dance man. I mean, he can sing very well, dance really well, good joke teller. And then Gomez is like his foil. He's the straight man to Zach's. I mean, they're just. It's hard to describe. I don't want to speak out of turn, but you can't play favorites. Although, I guess I would have to put Zach way above numbers. It's funny. I wish I could show you this picture. I'm just going to show it up here because it's teasing, but it'll give you an idea of how crazy.
Maybe we can get a camera.
Dude, look at this shit. Right?
It is freaking awesome.
Yeah. It just shows you how. No. Good.
Yes, we're wearing tinfoil.
If you see me around, just say, "Can I see that picture?" and I'll show it to you. That's
great.
But I can't do it anywhere there's an area in there. I
Well,
can't.
and you have kids of your own, so it was kind of fun that they gave Casey a daughter. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. McKenna Melvin, she's a wonderful, beautiful young actress, very smart, very snarky. Came onto the set and just owned her role and stood up to me, and you know, that's just the kind of thing that, I mean, that's why casting is so important. If you can really read someone in the room, if they're going to be capable of having that confidence and not have that fear of, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm insecure. Mostly people are jerks when they're insecure. They have fear about things. It carries across the board, but especially it really gets heightened in the acting thing for some reason. Maybe they think they can be more important than they really are. This is not you, McKenna. You're wonderful. You were great. Just saying, you are the opposite of that. And that's why casting is so important, you know, like that. Yep.
Way over there.
I was just wondering, are you planning to do any more voice work for DC Nation or anything like that?
If I have done something like that, they wouldn't allow me to talk about it.
It was in the photo.
Yeah, they like to keep all that stuff under wraps. I'm not saying I did, I'm not saying I didn't. I'm just saying I couldn't say if I had. I hope to.
I'm way over here. I don't know if a mic's close. Yeah, about second row.
What was your favorite line from Firefly or Serenity?
Of mine? Of any character. I like I can kill you with my brain. I really like that. I'll be in my bunk. Which is a euphemism. Shoot, there's a lot. I do like, you know, I do a job and we get paid. I like that. Yeah. One of the exploding diarrhea of an elephant was a good one. That'll always sit with me. It's in Chinese.
You're affecting my calm.
Yeah, you're disturbing my calm. Yeah. She is disturbing my... You are now disturbing my calm.
Josh's shows are full of t-shirt slogans, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm just really impressed and heartwarmed by the fact that you know the lines better than I do. That happens to me on Full Metal Jacket, too. A lot of military guys come up to me and start reciting Gunny Hartman's rants. That's awesome.
Right back here. You're right by him.
I was wondering, we've all heard you sing before. You've heard sing the Jane Tell song. Would you consider doing Dr. Horrible 2, which I know Joss has talked about doing?
You could fight Nathan.
Well, he's seen me sing now, so I have no shot. I can barely carry a tune. But, you know, again, if Joss goes, you're coming, he's boss. There's some hands over here. Get the microphones.
In the last episode of Chuck, you used a line from the first episode of Firefly. Did you put that in there? Or did they let you put that? All right.
Absolutely.
For it? I mean, the whole series, you didn't do it. Nathan's been doing it the whole time through.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't want to hit him over the head with it. You don't want to be too on the nose. But if there's an occasional line you can throw in there that is, you know, a little Easter egg or homage to the great Firefly Joss Whedon creation, why not do it? Uncredited, of course. But he likes that stuff. He likes that. So at least I haven't heard otherwise. Haven't been hired since though. simply Pip. I'd just like you to know that it's all your fault.
I know.
For those of you that don't know Pip, it is. Trust me.
So how's your golf game lately?
My golf game's crap. Yeah, it's in the dumper. Pip came and followed me around on a golf course when I fancied myself a better player, and in Colorado, a beautiful day. My brother, he lived nearby, near Denver, and so we played a little golf, but I lost it, man. I hung him up for like 5 years, never played. Yeah, I was like, whatever, can't win. Got into other things.
What other things?
Rifles!
So a woman with glasses, back, almost straight back, if we can get to her. There she be.
So for a lot of us, the cast of Firefly became like our friends and our family and Serenity, and it was awesome. And, you know, like we really relate to the characters. Is there a TV show or a movie where you were able to relate to the characters that way? Where they became like your family and your friends, kind of?
Oh, of viewing? Family Guy. Peter Griffin is one of the greatest of all time television characters. And it's just a ripoff. It's a ripoff of The Simpsons, obviously. At least that's what they say.
We're here. So you voiced Breakdown in Transformers Prime.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you find it kind of funny that Arachnid, who was voiced by Gina Torres, was the one to kill your character off.
Does that character survive as well, Arachnid?
Well, right now she's frozen in a time capsule.
Yeah. I remember going into the session that day and the producer coming up to me and saying, "Sorry, you're dead." Why? Well, we just have so many characters, there's only so much we can do. And you've been around, you have the least seniority, so Breakdown is dead. Oh, okay. Sorry. But since Gina killed me, cool. That's nice.
It's this young man right here. Third row, we got the young star.
What was your favorite part of the first season of Firefly? All of it. What was your very favorite part?
Well, I've said it before, I think my favorite part, and many of ours, is when we were all sitting around the dinner table and just doing scenes. Because those take a while, because you got a lot of people, you got 9 people to cover, so you're gonna be doing that for at least half a day, maybe the whole day. And just to be able to sit around and listen to Nathan and Alan jaw about games, because they were good Halo players and they were big gamers, and I knew nothing about that. Till later I started figuring out that I shoot at the sky or at the ground. The buttons are too sensitive. It's not like real life. Yeah, those moments, I think, stand out. And then the action-y bits. I love that whole first, Serenity's the pilot, the name of the pilot episode is called Serenity, and that whole opening section where we go in and meet Badger, I love that, because Mark Shepard's a great guy, one of my friends, he's hilarious. We were talking about, because he came on as a guest spot, basically. He said, how do I, Joss wanted to play that part, actually. But it was, anyway, he did it, and so we got to meet him. So, just meeting the different characters and hanging out with, as a family. It was like the family affair. And learning the props. Lucille Ball said, know your props. And Jane knew his props. And so I worked really hard with the prop guys to dial those in and get them right. A lot more time on the movie, too. That whole tricked out thing with the machine, that was cool. That rig. And hi.
How was that? You brought a real physicality to Jane's role, always poking at stuff and smelling it.
Was that a conscious acting decision? Where did you get that?
Yeah, I like to eat. So Jane was always busy doing something, tasting things, touching things, texturally, just rubbing Yosef Bridges' shoulder. Yeah, textural things. Like an animal. Because he wasn't a man of speeches. As you can see, they gave him one speech in the whole, pretty much, show you, a man of few words. So in order to steal the camera away from those that have the yappy bits, you got to do stuff. So it's true. One of my favorite actors is Brad Pitt, because he's always doing things. We come from the same acting school of thought. The late great Roy London and a woman named Ivana Chubbuck, and doings are very important. So I admire guys that can fill the screen with things that give me something to do, and he does that very well. So I aspire to that, especially because they don't give me speeches.
We've got time for just a couple more questions. In fact, there's the sign. So, do we have anybody way back there in the cheap seats?
Yeah, there are a couple way back there's. When I was growing up, we had a Ford Country Squire was our family car, and the little kid, I was the youngest of three boys, we sat in the backpack, well, the way back. Some people call it the way back. We call it the backpack. Get bumped around back there, get car sick.
Hi. I would really love to hear the wash story, but I also wanted to know if there is anything that we can be looking forward to that you're working on now.
Yes to the second part, but I'm not at liberty to discuss what it is right now, but it'll be a little action comedy genre that a friend of mine's putting together, but he said, don't talk about it yet. And as far as the wash thing goes, he died for reasons that were, well, Alan should probably explain why. Next time we run into him. I think it's public domain. I think we know why. So I'm going to make you do your homework and find that out.
My question was, well, actually, my husband is hoping you're enjoying your cuff that he made for you.
What was it? So, oh yeah, nice. I got it. He brought me the soft one.
Yes.
He's a leathersmith, and he made me this really cool replica of the Jane little wristband deal. It's pretty cool. It's spot on.
Thank you. He'll be happy to hear that.
But the original one, the leather was a little chafy, so he came over and offered me the softer one.
Yeah.
So I took it.
He's very considerate. My question was actually with the Serenity and Firefly, how creepy or cool was it working with like people that were dressed up as the Reavers? Because I was always curious about that.
Yeah, those Reavers, they're, the bummer for them is they have all this prosthetic makeup on and it's really hot, so it was melting off their faces a lot. So they had to do a lot of maintenance to keep it from detaching. So, and then they were in those heavy clothes and having to go, rawr, rawr. I don't know. They're pretty boring.
They drink lunch through a straw.
I think we got time for maybe one more.
Just had a quick question. There's been rumors flying around for about a year or so that Nathan Fillion's been trying to buy the rights back to Firefly. Do you know anything about that? And do you know if there's a possibility of Firefly making a triumphant return, or is it pretty much lost to legend now?
You came in late, right?
Yeah, came in late.
No, I'm kidding. There were rumors. I saw that. I don't know. I don't think they're true. I think that if anything's going to happen with it, it's up to Joss. Especially now, like I said, with the power that he has with Avengers, the success. If there was ever a time for him to be able to get it done, it would be now-ish soon. Because otherwise, I mean, we ain't getting any younger. Jane, what's that you say, Mal? Not gonna happen. Yeah, one more, last one.
Yeah, I saw a video at Comic-Con of the first Chuck panel. You guys seemed really surprised at the reception. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I wasn't, but I had experienced it. I think they had not experienced it before. I had had the blessing of being there with Serenity panel when we went down there, and there was, they had that grand ballroom. There was 6,000 people in there during Serenity. So when they turned out for Chuck, I was pleased, but not surprised. They were, because they had no idea what to expect. So I was able to just kind of sit back and be that man a few words on the dais and let them all drink it in. So it was a lovely feeling for me to share that with them, and for the comic book world and for the sci-fi world and the fantasy world to have embraced my new family on Chuck was very heartwarming for me. And so I held that over the producers as much as I could. I said, you know why you got picked up, don't you? Comic-Con. Thank you. I don't know. Anyway, I love you, Albuquerque. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.